I'm too sexy for my cosplay. I'm too sexy for my cosplay. On Cosplay Cafe. Yeah, I'm a cosplayer. You know what I mean. And I do my little turn on the con floor. Yeah, on the con floor. Oh, on the con floor. Yeah, I do my little turn on the con floor. And I'm too sexy for my cosplay. I'm too sexy for my cosplay. On Cosplay Cafe. And I'm too sexy for this song. Hey there, happy Friday, and welcome to another episode of Cosplay Cafe, now on the Phoenix Sisters Entertainment Network. Surprise! For those of you who didn't know or haven't seen the announcement yet. So, tonight we are going to be talking tabletop, RPGs, and cosplay that comes from those. We have a fantastic guest for you. But before we serve up that hot steaming cup of cosplay, I've got a few ads for you all to enjoy.
I've been a superhero for a long time. It used to be so simple. You catch the bad guys, do the right thing, save the world. Then I met Aiden, and things got complicated.
Iris recruited me as a kid and turned me into their own personal weapon. I couldn't see any way out until I met Marty. But now we're going to burn their entire organization down if we can.
Forces of Nature, books 1 and 2, Scorcher and Thin Ice are available now wherever books are sold online. See www.kellyguentner.com.
Pokeballs by Crayley is your one-stop shop for handmade magical creations that celebrate all the Pokemon universe has to offer. Available on CraylevanEst.com, that's CraylevanEst.com, and possibly coming to a con near you. All right, so our guest tonight is Chris English, also known as Papa Bear Cosplay. I met him through the Dragonfall convention, which is this really great charity gaming convention in the Southeast Wisconsin area. We will talk more about that because it's just a really cool con that you all need to know about. And Chris is just an incredibly talented guy. He's also a really sweet guy. So you're all going to love him. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for being here. So, how are you doing tonight?
I am good. Holidays are around the corner. It's Friday, so no complaints.
That's good. And we have our first regular stopping in to say hi. Mark Desjardins saying bonjour from Fort Wayne, Indiana. And he says, thanks for another great season of episodes. Oh, thanks, Mark. Mark has been on the show a few times and we just love him. So thank you,
Oh,
Mark.
nice.
He's a good guy. So the first question I always love to ask is, how did you get into cosplay?
So this was probably around 12 years ago now. I went to a small convention. I didn't know what cosplay was. Didn't know there was a word for it. Didn't know it was a thing. I went to a con, saw all these people dressed up, and I just like I want to do this forever, and just completely fell in love with the whole thing. And my first costume was a Party City out of the bag plastic Hellboy costume, and I loved it. And I was like, okay, this is it for me. This is what I want to do. It became my passion from there on out. And I spent the next year um, learning how to put things together and phone work and all this stuff because back in those days there wasn't YouTube like we know it now. There wasn't books like we have now and Patreons and things. You had to know somebody who knew how to make it in order to know how to make it yourself. So I just made it my business to find people who knew how to put stuff together and got with them. And here I am, 12 years later, still still my passion. So, but yeah, when I first started, I had no idea that cosplay was even a word. I knew people played dress up at conventions, but didn't know it was called cosplay until I actually went to the convention and found this entire new avenue. So, yeah, yeah. But now there's like tutorials, there's templates, there's all these pop-up companies that make costumes you could buy. Um, it's it's expanded so much from when I first started. And first time costumes back then was it was duct tape, it was cardboard. First time costumes now are full Iron Man, repulsor blast, the whole deal. Like first timers doing this. That's how far it's come along since
You can
since I
go to
first
Party
started.
City and get good stuff, like,
Yeah,
or
yeah, easy.
Halloween
Yeah,
Express. Oh my
yep,
gosh.
yep,
I still will go there and like sometimes I'll repaint it, but sometimes I'll find stuff I'll be like, okay, well this looks good right out of the bag.
exactly, exactly. And that's a far cry from when I first started. That was not a thing. And now you can wake up today and tomorrow you could be a cosplayer, no problem.
Love it. I I'm totally here for it being more accessible, and I
Yeah,
love that
yeah,
there are cosplayers sharing their knowledge and
yeah.
welcoming in the new class.
Oh yeah,
Your
100%.
experience your experience is just like mine. I didn't know what cosplay was, and I went to a con, and I was like, "This is the thing. This is
Right,
now my whole personality. These are
right.
my people."
Exactly.
It's the best thing ever, right? Do you remember what con it was?
It doesn't exist anymore. It was a small con. Oh my God.
I'm sorry I'm putting you on the spot. It's okay if you don't.
It's buried in my Facebook album somewhere, uh, deep down. But I'll have to go back to it. But it doesn't exist anymore. But then the next con I went to after that was Wizard World when that used to exist, and that just blew me away. That because my
Oh,
first experience was a very small like hotel thing, and Wizard World, especially in its heyday, was just a monster. So that, yeah, humble beginnings.
my first con was Superman Celebration, like way down in
Oh yeah,
Southern
Metropolis. Yeah,
Illinois.
yep,
And then Wizard World was my first big con. So
yep, yep.
maybe we were even there the same year. I don't know.
Very possible. Very possible. I mean, Wizard in its later years, Wizard got a bad rep, and
Mhm.
it's fair. It's fair. Some of it's fair, but for a lot of us, that's our origin story was going to
Yes.
Wizard World. So I got to give it some credit for that.
Honestly, it's not even their fault. Or well, okay, so some of it's their fault, but some of it's just the nature of the way cons
Right, right.
evolved.
Yeah, yeah. True.
Oh boy, I just had a child come in, sorry. And they weren't necessarily able to keep up with it. Like they could not
Yeah.
have anticipated how things changed.
Right.
But I definitely have fond memories of Wizard World. I
Same. Yeah.
had some
Same.
fun experiences there, and
Yeah. So did I. I was sad. I was sad to see it go when it went. I'm glad that we have Fan Expo now, but Wizard will always be kind of special to me. So
me too. I miss Wizard magazine so much.
oh, that's way back. You're really dating
I
yourself
know.
now.
Uh, I yes, I am happy dating myself. I'm told I'm older than or that I look younger than I am. So, but yes, I miss Wizard magazine though.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are definitely some great magazines that I know of that are like kind of filling that void. Like Crayley and I, I'm gonna plug it now. We just became a part of Otaku Asylum, which is a great
Okay.
fan-run magazine that's celebrating uh, cosplay and comics. 1 second.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
You're good.
Of course, we're getting a little bit of sound from my daughter because she decided that she's gonna hang out in the bedroom one night I'm doing the show. You know what? This is life with kids.
Yeah, it is. It is. I get it. I get it. Trust me.
You know, you have kids too, so you totally get it.
Yeah.
So what tool do you have in your toolbox that you just cannot do without, cannot make costumes without?
I think above all things, you have to have a good box cutter knife. Um, you can find a way to. I mean, I guess you could use scissors too, but to get clean cuts that you really need, and detailing as well, you just have to have a good knife. Scissors doesn't quite do it for me. Um, yeah, because even without a heat gun, you can still put together a costume. Um, but I wouldn't be able to put together a costume without a sharp box cutter. Just no. Because with scissors, you'll cut into it and you'll get jagged edges. And now you can't glue pieces together because the edges are jagged. So you just have to have a good knife. Period. If I had nothing, I would have a sharp knife.
I feel like that advice could translate to a lot of things in life beyond cosplay.
Having a sharp knife.
You have a sharp knife, you're good. I recently, well, within the last year, bought myself a hot knife, and
Okay.
that's been a game changer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever tried one of those, but that's been nice for cutting like plastics, and it has a few different attachments, so it's been nice for detailing. I'm
Yeah.
still there, it's a bit of a learning curve, but that's been, again, like you said, a good knife makes all the difference.
It
But
does. It does. I do use it for plastics, but that's everything else is like foams. It's just like give me my box cutter, give me my nail sharpener and my box cutter. I've had the same knife for years. Just I just sharpen it and it's good to go.
that's good. That's very good. So, what are some of your favorite memories from being in cosplay, being at cons? Like, do you have a favorite memory of being in cosplay?
Um, Probably when I get to do it with the kids, particularly my oldest, who's now 14. But when I started cosplay, she was a baby. Um, and we did. I was Hellboy. She was my little Hell girl. And God, that had to be over 10 years ago now. But I should have sent you a picture of that now that I think about it. Um, but that was one of my favorite moments because we had the makeup and I made her a little prop gun. I had my gun. We had the trench coats, the whole deal. It was pretty fun. That's one of my fondest memories. And, and another time is in 2018 when Black Panther first came out. Came out in February. C2E2 was in April, so it was fresh on everybody's mind. I was in Baku that year. I was one of the only
Nice.
few in Baku's at C2E2 because there's a lot of Black Panthers, obviously, and
Yeah.
that was that was awesome. That was so cool. So
Nice.
yeah, so those are probably two of my favorite memories in costume.
Mbaku is such an underrated character. Like
100%,
it,
100%. and his
I know people
costume
love
is
him,
is
but
great.
and this is Aubrey Cavitt, one of my co-hosts. So she says she's probably not going to get online because she rolled a 1 on internet connection. Aubrey, I love you. She's in the middle of moving,
Oh,
so
okay. Yeah, that's a lot.
there's just been a lot of movement in general for our team between moving podcast networks, moving
Yeah,
streaming
yeah,
services. This month is, yeah, we're all rolling ones.
yeah.
It's been a thing. So I mentioned Dragonfall earlier. Do you want to talk a little about how you got involved with that? Tell people what that's about.
So Dragonfall is a charity gaming convention, and tabletop games. So your Warhammer, your Age of Sigmar, um, they've had X-Wing there before. Uh, so tabletop war game things. And the cool thing about Dragonfall is that everything goes to charity. And you can go to the website dragonfall.com. You can see all the charities that they donate to. So it's not a, it's not a nefarious thing. This is where the money's going. So every time you buy a ticket, it's not to line anybody's pocket. It's to donate to charity. It's a three day event. It went to 2 days because of COVID and things, but now it's a 3 day event. And I got um, so the origin story with Dragonfall. They were looking to expand into the cosplay realm, just kind of diversify some of their programming and things like that. Which 3 days, 3 day con makes complete sense. And just so happens that I was contacted for some ideas on how to diversify programming, and then it's a tabletop gaming con. So it's like, oh well, yes, tabletop. I played Warhammer, avid Warhammer player, and D&D and Marvel Crisis Protocol, all this stuff. And it's just like, oh, you play Warhammer, so it just became like, well, now come over. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna play Warhammer. We're gonna talk about conventions. We're gonna talk about cosplay. So it became a whole thing. And the last couple years now, I've been running the cosplay side of things for Dragonfall, as well as in this past year, I participated in some gaming as well. So a little bit of everything for me with Dragonfall, but it's awesome because, like I said, it is a not-for-profit charity gaming convention. The people who run it are awesome. They do put on 3 awesome days, and they are starting to diversify their programming. So you can bring your kids. There's something for them to do, something for adults to do, and it's in a great place. So yeah, it's been really nice. It's been really nice. And then next year, we were talking about next year doing even more things and having a little more diversity in our programming. So I'm looking forward to it. It's just going to keep growing and growing, and I'm happy to just be a small part of it. So yeah. So thank you for the opportunity to talk about it. And again, dragonfall.com, and you can see the mission statement and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I thank you for talking about it. It's close to my heart because it's, first of all, it's in my backyard. So I have
Yeah.
a very short commute. It's at Lake Geneva, which is the home to Dungeons and Dragons. For anyone who doesn't know, that's where Gary Gygax lived, basically where the Dungeons and Dragons game was born. So
Yeah.
it's got that nice history there. It's hosted at the Grand Geneva, which is an absolutely beautiful resort. It's got a really nice convention area, and you all do put on a really nice convention. And it's been fun to watch it grow over the past 2 years. And I'm looking forward to what you're going to do next year and helping out next year and however I can. So I'm excited
Yeah.
about that.
We have and again, like it just happened in October, so everything is still new. So, but once the holidays are over, we're going to kick it into high gear and kind of buckle down on what we're looking to do with the convention. So yeah, you'll definitely be part of that conversation.
Oh yeah, you have time though. And James Lale just dropped in to say hello, friends. Hey, James.
Hello.
It's always good to see him. I believe you know James,
Oh yeah.
Chicago area.
Yep.
And Crayley McDonald, you met Crayley. Crayley
Yep.
says, I'm just popping in really quick while I can. So sad I missed in the last episode of the year. Crayley, I miss you, but you're growing a human. So you have to rest. Crayley is due in March, and I'm really excited to meet.
Yeah, right around the corner.
I know. I get to be an aunt again.
That's fun.
So, sorry, lost my train of thought for a minute. Yes, it's been that kind of day. So what costumes are you working on now?
Right now, I am happy to say I'm doing nothing right now. Uh, I I don't even want to think about it right now. I like the end of the year. I can't. I just can't.
That's good.
I'm usually all burnt up by the end of the year. Just November, I traveled every week of that month in November. So I'm done. So I'll think about it next
Self-care.
year. Yes, yes. I think about it next year. C2 around the corner. I'll see what I want to do for that. See how far I want to take that. But yeah, right now working on nothing. I'm doing a lot of painting, painting miniatures right now, and that's kind of like my decompress happy place. But no costuming whatsoever. I don't even have something on my radar at this point.
Nice.
Um, I am just I'm chugging away at trying to get these minis painted because that is a never ending war as well. Oh my goodness. Just never stops.
I'm a big fan of self-care. Are they
Yeah.
Warhammer minis?
Well, mostly because I just
Nice.
Warhammer's got me. I recognize it's a problem. It's a slight addiction, but I don't want to give it up. I don't want to give it up. Not yet. Not yet, but it's definitely got me. Um, so
Or
either I'm
worse.
painting I'm painting Warhammer or I'm painting Marvel Crisis Protocol or I'm painting like some D&D minis, something. I got stuff in front of me right now that I'm chugging away at. So it just never
Nice.
stops. Never stops.
I give you credit because so I love to paint, but I paint on canvas. I do not have the patience to paint the little minis. So that's impressive to me.
See, like some people hate it or don't like it. Like I love that part of the hobby, the painting.
That's good.
I like the painting and putting the terrain together and setting up the battlefield. That's my favorite part of the hobby. The game itself is fine, but setting up the battlefield, putting out, painting the armies, coming up with the narrative of okay, this is what we're doing, this is where we're at. That's the really fun part. The game is the game, but like the creative part of the colors and you know the field, that's what gets me every time. That's what keeps me coming back mostly.
See, I would love putting together the terrain, which is why I haven't allowed myself to get into that part. But painting the little tiny pieces. So I give you credit. I
Yeah,
give you a
yeah,
lot of
can't do
credit.
it. No, it can be very tedious. It can be very tedious and very expensive. But
Hopefully
like,
it's your Zen.
yeah, what's that?
I said hopefully it's your Zen. It sounds like it's kind of a
It
place
is.
of Zen for
It
you.
is. Yeah,
That's good.
I enjoy it. It calms me down. I've spent I've been up all night just painting, and I look up and it's the sun's coming up, and I'm like, oh wow, I've been doing this all night. So um, yeah, I enjoy it a lot, which is
So,
part of the reason like
my
I started my YouTube channel because I enjoy it so much.
right, which you got past your 666. I made sure of
I
that.
do.
So,
Thank you.
uh, I was already following you on my main account, but I followed you on one of my secondary accounts. So,
I
congratulations.
appreciate it.
Why don't you plug where's your YouTube channel?
So my YouTube is Papa Bear Studios on on YouTube, and it is a gaming channel. So tabletop war games primarily. So if you're into Marvel Crisis Protocol, or Warhammer Age of Sigmar, or Warhammer 40K, um, those are the games that I mostly talk about. Now I will get to, and granted, I just started my channel in July. So at some point, I want to get to other games like Dead Zone, D&D, things like that. But 40K, Sigmar, and MCP is like really the focus right now. So I got 15 videos up. Again, I just started my channel, but because I have a room full of miniatures and terrain and table mats and all these things. So for years, my friends like, you're doing all this stuff already. Like you're painting. Why don't you just put on YouTube and just see what happens? And I was like, nah, because it's not just playing. You got to edit. You need microphones, lighting. Like
You're
it's
right.
it's not just playing the game. And then it just got to a point where it's like, you know what? I'll just I'll just go for it. And then I got the lighting and the microphones and did all the things, and I put it up, and it's been really fun so far actually. So I'm glad I'm into it. It's always a game of thinking about, and you know this, what am I going to talk about? What's my content going to be? What's the best time to put it out? Thumbnails, all the stuff that you don't think about until you have to do it. And but it's so
Thumbnails are a
far,
nightmare.
yeah, yeah. But
You have
it's
they
been a
have to
fun
grab
ride.
attention. They
I
have to
know,
grab attention.
I know.
They're fun, but they're a nightmare.
It is, and it's like like I told my friends, like, yeah, it's like, yeah, I paint and we play, but YouTube it's a TV show at that point. It's no longer just playing. I got to put
Yeah.
on a production,
Yep.
so and that part gets lost on people. But I'm doing it.
Well, good for
I'm in
you.
it now. Yeah, I'm in it now, and it's been pretty fun. So I can't
That's
complain. So yeah, Papa
exciting.
Bear Studios. If you're into tabletop wargaming, check out Papa Bear Studios. And I'm working on my website. I haven't got that up yet, but yeah.
And so my friend Nita of Sci-Fi Queens just popped in. She said, "Hello, Kelly and guests. How are you?" And she did say she's following you now. So
Oh,
Nita
thank
is
you.
awesome. I adore her. You should also follow her back. Her show
Appreciate that.
is she covers all things sci-fi on her Sci-Fi Queen show, and she's just
Oh,
an
nice.
excellent human. So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
my
like she says,
favorite genre is
hold on.
sci-fi. So that's I'll definitely give her a follow.
Yeah, she does a good job. I I got to be on her show a while back. I need Nita, I need to bug you and be on your show again sometimes soon. But like she said, having a podcast or YouTube channel takes a lot of work. But
Yeah, yeah,
and
it does.
and she says she'll check out your videos and promote you on her show. So
Oh, thank you.
Nita, you're the
Appreciate it.
sweetest. And Fred Kier popped in. Hi, Fred. He said hello and complimented my Lord of the Rings elf. Thanks, Fred. Fred is just he's one of my fellow CWC members, customers with the cause, and he also
Yep.
is in our local Rebel Legion. Or no, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
Fred, you're in the 501st. You're not in the Rebel Legion because he's Palpatine. He's a really good Palpatine.
Gotcha.
He's an amazing Palpatine. And like James Lale said, it's nice to kind of have a break and recycle the costumes you have. So,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Like by the end of the
Ida,
year,
I
I'm
need
I'm
to.
over it.
Yeah, I feel ya. And Emmett Zett is giving us a smiley face. Hi, Emmett. Yeah, I've still got costumes brewing, but I just launched a podcast network, so that's been taking my
Right.
time. Also, I'm working
Yep.
on 3 books right now.
Oh wow.
So if you hear a popping sound, that's my brain exploding. I don't know. I'm somehow sleeping still,
Yeah.
but which is why I'm not moving as fast as I'd like on all the other things.
Hmm.
But yeah, um,
You got a
I'm
lot
actually
going
going to
on.
be. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm going to be skipping C2E2 because Costume Con is coming to Wisconsin. And
Hmm.
if you all don't know about Costume Con, it's basically this con that is focused on costume making, and it travels around the world. And it
Okay.
hasn't been in Wisconsin. It hasn't been in the Midwest for like 10 years. And it's coming to
Oh,
Milwaukee. And I'm really excited about it. But it's the same weekend as C2E2.
gotcha.
So I have to make something spectacular for Costume Con. So I'm coming up with ideas. And it's probably going to be original.
Oh, original costume?
Uh-huh. Because the Costume Con do- is the place to do original costumes. They have
Oh, okay.
but but yeah, they're really focused on panels about costume making, and it's just for creators of all different kinds. So it's a very different vibe from,
Hmm.
the cons like C2E2, which are also super fun. It's just a different vibe. So I'm excited, but I'm gonna miss everyone who I usually see at C2E2.
So is it more
So
like uh is it more like serious than like than like Comic Con? Is it more like a serious
well,
mood? Like people are there like for this is like for it's more like for costuming opposed to cosplay.
I don't think so. I mean, I'm sure
Okay.
it'll still be goofballs running around, but yeah, it's more people who are there who are really about the art of costuming,
Gotcha.
which is definitely still my jam. I'm definitely not about gatekeeping when it comes to cosplay, but I'm
Yeah.
interested in the craftsmanship of it. But I got up my game. If I'm going to be running around this con, I'm definitely not going to be running around in some of like my lower effort cosplays that I like.
Okay. Yeah, I
So
look forward to seeing it.
yeah, I have an idea cooking that I'm pretty excited about. So that's about all I'll say.
Okay.
On that note, let's talk about you some more and let's go through the pictures that you sent me. And if you just want to talk a little about each picture and the costume, like whatever you want to say about it. So,
So this is Bishop from the X-Men. And this is his look. Now, traditionally, he's in like, the blue, the bright blue jumpsuit with the yellow stripe going down. But this look here is from his comic book, which was partly inspired by the Days of Future Past look for Bishop as well. So, and I liked this particular look because it has armor pieces, where
mhm.
traditionally Bishop, again, he's just got the jumpsuit. Um, but wanting to make armor because that's what I do, I was like, oh well, Days of Future Past comic book version of Bishop is perfect for kind of my style. So yeah, I made this for Grand Rapids Comic Con a couple weeks ago that I was at, and I'm pretty happy with it. Given and I made that in about I mean 3 days. I put that together. Um,
What? That
yeah,
looks
because I was I
amazing.
was I was con crunching, so we had like 3 days to
Did
do it.
you
So
sleep? Did you sleep in those 3 days, or did you just?
barely, barely, barely. But got it
You
done.
look
Now,
incredible.
thank you. I do want to put more love into them, and so that way, kind of just clean up the armor bits and things like that. But yeah, this was a fun one. I definitely want to do Bishop again because and like X-Men is always popular, so there'll always be an opportunity to run Bishop again. But that was a fun one.
Definitely need to do Bishop again because you're rocking this.
Appreciate that. This is my version of The Witcher, so it's not Geralt or
Nice.
anything. Just I'm just a Witcher, and so the
Mhm.
inspiration for this was obviously like I love the game. I like the first season of the show, and I was like, I really wanted to do The Witcher, and also too, my youngest, she did. Now this was like when The Witcher 3 first came out. I made her a Witcher costume because she thought it was the coolest thing.
Ooh.
So, which another picture I could have showed you. It's funny because like how the conversation goes, you don't know where it's going, but it's like to have a
Mm-hmm.
picture to see what I'm talking about would have been helpful. But anyway, so to me, it's like, well, um, as a black person, if The Witcher was black, what would that look like as far as my hair and all the things like that? So this is what I came up with. I originally thought about doing like the straight white traditional Witcher hair,
Hmm.
but it just like for it just didn't look right on me. Like it would if it was me, if I had long hair, it would be straight. It would be in dreads. So
That makes sense.
that's the look that I was going for. Just the kind of um, the gray beard and the gray dreads. But I did try the white wig, and it's just like this doesn't. That's not what it would look like if it was me. So
I couldn't
yeah,
see that on you. This this look suits you.
thank you. So I am again, sci-fi is my most favorite genre, and within that genre, Star Trek is my most favorite sci-fi thing. So I have a ton of Star Trek uniforms,
Nice.
uh, and I like this one because it's the original series but updated, and I just think it's cool. I do have I've done a Cleon once before, but I want to do like just one of the generals where he's got the furs and all the patches, and I mean I could talk forever
Yes.
about Star Trek stuff. Um, but I had to put in a Trek picture here just to kind of represent my number one fandom. So yeah, but I have a ton of uniforms. I try to find it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to Pocket Con tomorrow, and I'll be in a Star Trek uniform there. So
Oh,
I
nice.
yeah, I got plenty of them. Now this is the M'Baku costume from Black Panther. Back in 2018. That's when this
Mhm.
picture was taken in 2018. So I'm actually glad that I picked this one because we actually did talk about one of my favorite times, and it was in this costume. So fun fact about this costume, I had I made this in February.
Mhm.
Movie comes out made in February, it was great. So at the time, I was traveling with Wizard World. I was one of their cosplay guests. I traveled on their circuit. So they were going to be in Iowa. Now, Winston Duke is the actor that plays M'Baku in the
Mhm.
movie. So I Instagrammed him, hey, made this M'Baku suit and just put it in his inbox. What do you think? Didn't expect to hear anything from this guy.
Mm.
He messaged me back saying that he thinks it looks awesome and we have a little dialogue. Now, cool thing is that I was gonna be at Wizard World, Iowa. He was gonna be at Wizard World, Iowa that same weekend. So just so happens we talked to each other the week before we're gonna be in the same place. So get there, Wizard World sets it up. I get to meet Winston Duke. He signed that costume. He signed the spear I had. I met him backstage, and I escorted him to his panel for Wizard World. So I have not worn that costume since 20 2019, I think, either 2018 or 2019, wherever that convention was at. I haven't worn it since he signed it, so that's hanging up in my house right now.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. That was pretty fun. Did not expect to hear from him, and he Instagrammed me back like, "Yeah, this is awesome." So, and then it just went from there.
Oh, that's awesome. I love when celebrities are able to respond. Like, I know they don't all have time to check their social media, but I love when they're
Yeah,
able
yeah,
to respond and when they're nice like that. Like,
right,
that's great.
right.
And then you sent one last one. So good.
So this is Saw Gerrera.
Mhm.
He was on my list for a long, long time after I saw Rogue One, just because of how difficult the costume looked to make. And I was like, man, if I could put this together, that would be awesome. And I mean, I love Star Trek, but I can appreciate some Star Wars stuff. And I just this appealed to me because there's so many things going on with it, and it doesn't like when you look at Saw Gerrera's armor, it just looks kind of all over the place. um,
Right.
but but organized. It's hard to describe. And I just wanted to create that weird chaos that he has in his armor, and I felt like I could do it. This one took a while. This one took a good
Mm.
while, but um, and I've only worn it once. I've only worn it once, but I do want to dust this off and wear it at a convention um, sometime. But yeah, this was a fun one to make. I like his armor is so weird. I was just like, I want to recreate this, and I was able to do it.
Yes. Where did you take this picture? Because this looks like a movie still.
This is in Joliet. I don't know where you're
Mm.
from, but yeah, this is in Joliet. There's so many because this town's so old. There's so many like random abandoned places to go.
It's
Because again, this old town. So yeah, this is just at a random like a little abandoned spot, and it's like, oh, this is be perfect. There's nothing over here.
oh,
So
that's awesome.
yeah, yeah.
Well, it's perfect. That picture is just absolutely, like I said, looks like
Thank
a
you.
movie still. Yeah, and I'm only 15 minutes from Lake Geneva, so
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
you know.
So yeah, it'd be a little drive. It'd be a little drive for you to come out
I
here.
mean, I
It'd be worth
I've
it
driven
though.
down to the Chicago. Yeah, I've driven down to the Chicago area several times for photos, so I do it.
Oh, okay,
Totally do
okay.
it. Next time you're up here, I need to take you to the Paradise Springs nature trail because there's like an abandoned a piece of an abandoned resort there that looks like
Oh
ruins.
wow.
I took pictures with my Laura Croft there, but it would work for a lot of fandoms, and it's just
Oh,
gorgeous
okay.
out there. So we have some cool stuff up here too. But yeah, I totally go to I make the drive to Joliet. I think that's probably 90 minutes from for me.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
to look,
Most
but
likely, yeah.
it's yeah, I do that. That would be with some planning. No
Right.
problem. But oh, sorry. Next up, I have pictures that were submitted from viewers. So we always like to do that,
Okay.
have viewers submit their pictures with the theme, and so we only have 3 this week. So we have the lovely Rangers and Arrows. Just these looks are fantastic. Rangers and Arrows was on an episode earlier this year, and she's so talented. Like,
Yeah, that's
look at
awesome.
these,
Yeah.
right?
Wow.
And then t-shirt cosplay is my friend Ruby,
Okay.
and I used to play D&D online with Ruby and her husband, and I miss doing that, but also keeping track of a D&D game online versus in person is hard. But
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
one of Ruby's original D&D looks, and she just rocking it. Like, I everything she does is awesome.
It's nice.
And this is Foxy Vixen, who emailed in several looks to us. So just rose to the occasion here. Like, these looks are all fantastic.
Yeah.
So, this is kind of my favorite part of
Oh,
the
that's
show, is
cool.
seeing what people send in. I just always adore seeing people's submissions.
Right.
So, how'd you get into tabletop gaming?
So my younger brother, my youngest brother, he loves tabletop games, loves them. So I was looking for like a Christmas gift for him, um, and I knew he loved tabletop games. So I was like, well, what is the most popular tabletop game? And I literally Googled it, like popular tabletop games, and then Warhammer was number one. I was like, oh, now up to this point, I had heard of Warhammer, and my only experience with Warhammer was like costumes because people cosplay it because the aesthetics of it are just next level. Um,
Right.
but I didn't know the lore. I didn't really understand it. I just know it exists as a thing. So, number one tabletop game comes up Warhammer. I was like, okay, my brother loves tabletop games. I'll get a Warhammer, right? That's how
Just
small
buy
my
one
mind was
Warhammer,
thinking.
please.
Yeah. That's how small my mind was thinking about this whole thing. I'll just go get a Warhammer. So obviously, after the deep dive, I realized like, no, no, no. There's no such thing as like one Warhammer thing. It is a rabbit hole of madness. So I was like, well, I'll get like a beginner set. And this was in 2019, I want to say. I'll get a beginner set and we'll just go from there. Have no idea what to expect. So
Oh
I
no.
get I get I get the beginner set and I go on YouTube to try to find out what this game is about, like what's the story behind this whole thing, all this. And that just started me on this journey. I was absolutely hooked after listening to the lore, and then I started getting the books. I started listening to the books. I started reading all the stuff, and I was like, I don't care what my brother wants. I want this stuff now. It's like this is for me
Like,
now.
this is a present for me. I don't know what you're having.
Yeah, like yeah, it just became a thing. Um so we get it for Christmas, and again, I had not. I was just listening to lore. I hadn't even opened the box because it was for my brother. So get it to him for Christmas. He opens it. I'm excited because I'm like, okay, I got the Warhammer,
You're like, let's do it. Let's do it.
and it's just gray, unassembled, unpainted plastic. I'm like, what is this? Where's the game? Like, what's happening? At that point, I realize, oh, you have to cut the plastic, assemble it, prime it, paint it, and then you can actually play the game.
That's so much
So,
more than some assembly required.
right, right. So it was a couple of weeks after Christmas before we got to our first game because we had to, and I didn't have any paint, so we assembled. I got some paint. It was a whole thing. Um, but then after we played, it was like okay, like we both liked it. So it's like, well,
Oh.
let's get more stuff. And then before you know it, you spent thousands of dollars
Oh my God.
and you've changed one of your bedrooms to just a Warhammer room. And, you know, and then you end up making a YouTube channel about it. This is how it goes. So
So what you're saying is people need to follow your YouTube channel so you can get monetized, so you can buy more Warhammer stuff.
that's the name of the game. If I could just get it for free, or at least have it pay for itself, then I could
Yeah,
stick with my addiction forever.
fair, fair.
But
But
I just, it's like I said, it's got me. I'm hooked. I'm hooked. My brother's hooked too. He's not as bad as I am, but we both have it pretty bad.
between that and cosplay,
I
you
know.
must just be broke. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry.
It's bad. It's bad. It's really bad because it does come to a point where it's like, well, if I get this box, if I get these minis, I can't get the things I need for cosplay, and like vice versa. I have to pick. I have to pick. So, all my hobbies are expensive. So yeah, but
I feel that. I feel that in my soul.
yeah, yeah, it's ridiculous. But yeah, it all started simply because my brother loves tabletop games, and I wouldn't even started this journey if it wasn't trying to find him a Christmas gift. Um, so yeah,
So blame
and
it on
that
him. Thank
yeah,
him.
it's all yeah, it's his fault, and I love him for it.
Oh, well, that's really sweet. And on that note, we're almost out of time. So I have one last question for you, and I'm going to give you the full screen for that. So 1 second while I do that. All right. So if you could give advice to someone who's early on in their cosplay career, what advice would you give to someone who's just starting out as a cosplayer?
I would tell them to, um, don't worry about what people think. Don't be afraid. Just be true to your artistic self and make your costume. And if that means buying it and modifying it, that's okay. If that means just buying it, period, and wearing it, that's okay. If you want to just wear it from start from scratch and just build everything from ground up, that is also okay. There's no wrong way to cosplay as long as you're being a good human about it, and that's it. So you always want to be in competition with yourself and no one else. You just want to be the best version of you can be. And don't get bogged down into what this person's doing and what that person's doing. The competition is always within. And as long as you have fun with it, you stay true to your artistic vision and you don't let what people are doing in the community cloud your own judgment. You can do this for forever and have fun every time.
That is fantastic advice. Thank you. And Fred has one last question for you. What army do you play in Warhammer?
I mean, I have armies, so oh, that's a rabbit hole question. So I have Death Guard, I have Thousand Suns, I have Space Wolves, I have Ultramarines, I have Salamanders, I have Sisters of Battle, I have Necrons, and I have Tau. So Yeah, all those. Play all those. And I'm not looking to add any more armies right now, but obviously in the future that'll probably change.
He says maybe should have asked which army you don't play.
Yeah, that would have been a shorter answer. Yeah.
I love it. And where can people find you? So we talked about your YouTube channel, but plug it again. And where else? Basically, where can people find you online?
So all the cosplay things, Papa Bear Cosplay, I'm on every social media, so if you Google it, I'll pop up. For my tabletop stuff, Papa Bear Studios. You plug that in, you'll find me on YouTube. You might find my website too, but I'm not done completing that, but you'll find me there too. So Papa Bear Cosplay, Papa Bear Studios, one of those, you'll see me.
Very good. And I'm Phoenix Sisters Entertainment or Phoenix Sis Entertainment pretty much everywhere on most social medias. And now Phoenix Sisters Entertainment is a whole network. So we've got a whole bunch of shows under our arm or under our umbrella. Excuse me, I can talk. And so there's a lot of exciting announcements on our social media if you follow us. And also, some of those announcements are regarding our upcoming multiverse fundraiser, which is coming up next month. That is our virtual comic convention that's also a charity fundraiser. So I'm going to roll the ad on that to lead us out. Thank you all for watching. Please stick around for this ad, and otherwise, have a great week.
The Multiverse Fundraiser is partnering with Comic Books for Kids to raise money for their cause. Their mission is to provide comic books to children in hospitals and cancer centers across the United States, Canada, and the UK. We believe in the importance of providing stories that promote hope and bravery to kids who are facing things that are scarier than any supervillain. And we truly believe in this cause. To donate, you can either go to our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/the Multiverse Fundraiser or directly to comicbooksforkids.org.